Okay, so if you've ever felt that jolt of anxiety, that racing heart, and someone, probably with the best intentions, told you to just think positive, you know exactly how frustrating that advice can be. It's like the go-to suggestion, right? But for most of us, it just doesn't work. In fact, trying to wrestle yourself into a calm, positive state when you're feeling anxious doesn't just fail, it can actually backfire and make everything feel so much worse. So, let's get into why that happens, and more importantly, what we can actually do about it.
So, what's the deal? Why is trying to just slam the brakes on anxious thoughts such a terrible strategy? Well, it turns out it all comes down to this really simple but kind of powerful glitch in our brains.
Let's try a little experiment right now. Seriously, for the next, say, 3 seconds, whatever you do, do not think about a big pink elephant. Ready? Go. So, what's in your head right now? I'm gonna guess it's got a trunk, big floppy ears, and is very, very pink.
Yep, that's called the pink elephant problem. The second you tell your brain not to think about something, you're basically putting a giant flashing neon sign on that exact thought. By fighting it, you're signaling to your brain, hey, this is super important, and your brain goes, got it, and holds onto it even tighter.
Okay, so that's the mental trap. But there's also a purely physical reason you can't just magically jump from anxious to calm. This isn't just in your head. Your entire body is in on it. Just look at the difference here. When you're anxious, your body is in a state of high arousal. Your heart's pounding. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is flooding your system. You're amped up. Calm, on the other hand, is the total opposite. It's a low arousal state. They are physiological polar opposites. Asking the body to leap from one to the other is like trying to go from 100 miles an hour to a dead stop instantly. It's just not going to happen.
So, if you can't force yourself to be calm, what's the answer? Are you just stuck? Nope. The secret isn't about fighting the feeling. It's about reframing it. And here is the absolute key to the whole thing. This might blow your mind a little bit. The physical sensations you feel when you're afraid are identical to the ones you feel when you're super excited. Your body, on its own, literally cannot tell the difference.
I mean, think about it. Racing heart? Check. Sweaty palms? Check. That fluttery feeling in your stomach? Check. It's the exact same physiological checklist. The only, and I mean only difference is the story, the label that your brain slaps onto that feeling. Fear says, oh no, this is danger. Excitement says, oh yeah, this is going to be awesome.
Okay, so how in the world do we change that story, that label? We can't do it while our brain is stuck on that old fear loop, running on autopilot. First, you have to interrupt it. You have to consciously take back control. And this is where a tool like Mel Robbins' 5-second rule is pure genius. Simply counting backward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, acts like a mental clutch. It interrupts that panicked automatic response from your primitive brain and wakes up your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain that's in charge of deliberate, conscious thought.
Now, right after that countdown, you can really solidify that mental shift with a grounding exercise like this one. By intentionally focusing on your senses, where you can see, touch, hear, and smell, you yank your brain out of worrying about the future and plant it right here in the present moment, where you're actually safe. This creates the space you need to introduce a new thought.
All right, so you've hit the interrupt button. You've grounded yourself in the now. What's next? Well, you need to give your brain a new, much better story to latch onto.
This is what we call your anchor thought. It's not just any positive thought. It's a specific, pre-planned image or idea that you deliberately bring to mind. Its whole job is to give your brain a reason, a context for why your body feels so amped up, and to help your brain label that feeling as excitement.
But here's the thing. A great anchor thought can't be random. It has to be related to what's making you anxious, so your brain actually buys it. Like, if you're nervous about flying to Hawaii, your anchor thought should be something amazing you're going to do in Hawaii. And the most important part, you have to come up with this before you're in that high-stress moment.
Okay, so let's see how this all comes together. This isn't just a nice theory. It has totally life-changing results in the real world. Let's talk about Sarah. She was absolutely terrified of flying, but she used the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, and she had an anchor thought ready about her trip. She successfully reframed all that fear into excitement. And the result? Just look at this. That's her on a helicopter tour in Hawaii. This is what's possible. This technique helps you take the exact action that fear was trying to block.
And this is really the fundamental shift in thinking. That agitated feeling in your body, it's not the enemy. It's just energy. The goal isn't to make the energy go away. It's to harness it. You can't always control the initial physical sensation, but you can always control what you think and what you do next.
So here it is, the main takeaway. Stop fighting the feeling. Stop trying to force yourself to be calm. It's a losing battle. Instead, lean into that high-energy state and just give it a new name. Your body doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement until your brain tells it what to feel. So go ahead, start telling it you're excited.